Well, I've been wanting to show you this company for a long, long time. It's called Far Sight Studios, located on Spruce Road, just up the hill from the Cowboy Steakhouse. And it employs a lot of people here. They've been here for a while, and I think you're going to be fascinated by what this company does. So let's go in and meet Jay Obernoldi, the president, who I'm going to chat with, and he's going to show me around. Well, I found Jay Obernoldi. Hi, Jay.
Hello.
Golly, Far Sight Studios. Now, that could be a lot of things, but what does Far Sight do?
Well, we develop video games. We do PlayStation 2, we do Xbox and Xbox 360, we do GameCube, we do Nintendo Wii, we do a PlayStation Portable, and we also have done PC, and we're just getting back into doing that.
Really?
And another line of business that we have is we do what's called the firmware, is the software that controls electronic toys.
I see.
We've been doing more and more of that lately.
Wow. How long have you been in this business? I mean, you've only... Well, let's start off. When did you move to Big Bear?
We moved to Big Bear 13 years ago.
Right.
13 years.
And see, you've been very secret.
Well, we don't try and be secretive.
I know you don't try, but the way that your business is, I mean, you don't, it's not a retail.
Sure, yeah, it's not.
It's a development company.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we get maybe we have 4 or 5 clients in a year, and of course, none of those are people that will just see our sign from the street and come in. It's people, business that we have to go.
Sure. And then you go out to clients too?
Oh, all the time.
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah, the airport up here is a big asset for us in that respect.
That's right. You said one thing, that if we didn't have an airport, we wouldn't have had you.
Right. When we moved up here 13 years ago, one of the big drivers that led us to pick Big Bear is that we did have an airport. So even despite the fact that Big Bear's a little remote, we can still get out and service our clients. We've got clients in Los Angeles, we've got clients in the Bay Area, we've got clients in Seattle area. And all of those clients we can service from the airport here in Big Bear. So
isn't that great? Scoot around quick, saves time. Don't have to go to an airport, go through security and all of that. That's wonderful. Now, how long have you been in this business? I mean, you've been here 13 years, but you did it before you moved up here, didn't you?
Right. It's just coming up on 20 years for me.
Really? You were a teen then?
That's true. Yeah, my first piece of commercial software was published when I was 15.
Really? Because you're not old.
Well, I feel old.
Well, I know, but you got a big company. It's a big one.
Actually, for what we do, Farsight is very small, and that's one of the things that we've attempted to keep. We could, having been in business as long as we have been, we could be hundreds of people. And that's just not a corporate culture that we're ready to embrace.
Sure.
So we like staying for our industry is pretty small.
Mm-hmm. How many do you have employed here?
23.
23. All of them college graduates?
The vast majority, yes, are college graduates. Once in a great while, we'll hire someone without a college degree.
Sure. Mostly in computer science or related?
Well, it depends on the specialty that we're hiring for. Our engineers, our computer programmers, obviously they'll have mostly degrees in computer science, but we also have other specialties. Artists will have degrees in graphic arts. We hire animators. We have some people here that do sound and music for us.
Really? So you have a whole variety of positions in. And, of course, you're married, Heather, and just got back.
Your viewers probably know her better than they know me.
I know it. Well, of course, you were one of the Man About Town candidates this year, and we got to know Heather. She was your campaign manager, set up all your events, which is really cool. And I know it took a lot of your time, too, and money. I mean, it's not just a volunteer effort. I mean, it's hard work being in it, but overall, it's all for the youth of the valley, and that's cool that you're involved in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're looking forward to that swimming pool.
Yeah, I know it. And you're also on the board of the Big Bear City Airport.
That's right.
So, I mean, you're involved in the community. And Heather's involved in the community.
Oh, sure, yeah. She's been on the Dove's board of directors for, heck, 10 or 11 years. She's traveled a couple times. She's heavily involved with the Venture Club. Sure.
I know, isn't that great?
She's now a den mother here at the Cub Scouts.
Is she really? Keeps a bit. You have 2 children.
2, right.
How old are they?
They are 7 and 5, just coming up on 8 and 6.
I see. So anyway, getting back to Farsight, you actually design the games for these different, are they called platforms?
Right.
Platforms. So
yeah, we do.
And there's a variety of games too, isn't it? I mean, I saw coming upstairs you had NFL on one, and
sure, I can show you some of the stuff we've done recently. We do the development on games, so that means we do the design, we do the computer programming, we do the art and the animation and the sound. We put it all together and produce it. When it's ready for manufacture, then we hand it off to our publishers. And our publishers do the rest of it. So we don't do manufacturing, we don't do fulfillment, we don't have trucks pulling up to the building. Lots of people think that they can talk to us about getting free games. It's not the case. We actually only get a limited number of the games that we wrote, just because we're not involved with that section of it. We don't do the marketing of the games. We don't do customer support. If you call the 800 number on the back of the package, you're not going to get someone here at Farsight. You'll get someone at the publisher. So that's the piece that the publisher does.
Well, and that's good. I mean, that saves you one step, a big step.
Sure. Well, our core competency is the creative part of it.
Right. And I notice walking through, I mean, it's so quiet. They're all really concentrating on what they're doing, and they're all young.
Oh, I don't know. Actually, we Farsight is very dissimilar to a lot of the companies in our industry that we compete with. And one of the ways that we are dissimilar is that we actually have a much higher average age per employee than a lot of our competitors. A lot of our competitors will hire people straight out of school, and they just work them to the bone for a couple of years until they're burned out, and then they just get fresh fodder from the universities.
Oh, wow.
We don't believe in that. We believe in obviously we're located in a beautiful area. We believe in trying to create a kind of environment that people can come here, work their whole careers for us, raise a family. We really believe in that. So we've got a much greater percentage of people here at Farsight who are married, who have children.
That's great. And you have, you're a family here. All of your people are a family. I mean, they all know each other. They're all concerned about each other. And I guess you're going to meet in Vegas soon, all your people.
Oh, right. Yeah, we're taking them out. We did.
But you're going to take them, huh?
Sure. One of the games we did this year was called Hard Rock Casino on the PlayStation 2 and the PlayStation Portable. And it's a casino game with a Hard Rock license where you've got a virtual character and you can walk into the casino and sit down and play blackjack or poker or slot machines or I think there are over 20 different games that you can play. And there's also an adventure component where you're having to enter tournaments and trying to build up bankroll and accomplishing things. So we just finished that a few weeks ago. That'll be on shelves for this Christmas. And kind of to celebrate, we're taking everyone out to the Hard Rock, which is the license that we have.
Yeah.
So we got a tour bus that is going to pick everyone out and take them out there for a couple of days. That's going to be fun.
It's going to be great. Are their families going with them?
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Oh, man, what a great present. See, that's neat. I mean, you do things for your employees.
Well, we try.
Yeah, that's good. Well, why don't you show me some of the things that you do, and I think the people will be so interested and amazed that we have this industry up here. And I call it an industry.
Well, let me show you some of the games that we've come out with recently. I don't know if your camera's going to be able to follow me. You have to go over here.
Okay.
All the way up the stairs.
Oh, are they? Yep. Okay, we're going to start up here. This is what, one of your first ones?
That was our very first video game.
1991.
That was published in 1991. We started in 1990. But before that, we did educational software, originally on the Apple II, for people who remember that machine.
Oh, really?
Later on the Macintosh, we did 28 different educational software titles.
Really?
So that was our first video game. That was on the NES Nintendo, which was the first Nintendo that was available here in the United States.
Sure.
And then we've got, it was one of the very first Sega Genesis games. Art Alive was an art drawing program.
Oh, yeah.
That we did. This is a color dinosaur program. You can see our first few games were geared towards younger kids.
Kids, yes.
Kind of an outgrowth of our educational software offerings. This was a game called Action 52 for the Sega Genesis with 52 different games on one cartridge. This was our very first sports game called...
This is 52, huh?
Yeah.
On one cartridge. And this one is...
This is our very first sports game.
Oh, yeah, tennis, huh?
tennis game called Amazing Tennis.
And that was for our Genesis unit.
This was our first 95 for the Sega Genesis, and this was also the first game that we ever did that sold over 1 million copies.
Really?
So that was made us happy.
I'll bet it did.
The follow-on for that was Bell Game, which also sold over 1 million copies, and we outsold John Madden Football that year, which we were happy about.
Wow. Did you do the new John Madden?
Well, no, we toy with a Madden license. We've never actually done the John Madden games. We've done some of the college football games for Electronic Arts. I'll show you those in just a minute. That was another football game for the sake. Over here we did some of the college football games for EA Sports. That was a 1998 version that we did there. We did a 1999 version the year after that. That was runner-up sports game of the year at the Game Developers Conference that year. We got an Editor's Choice Award from PC Gamer. We did a NASCAR road racing game for Electronic Arts. And then
this is a pinball, huh?
Yeah, that's actually what we're doing a lot of these days. This is a pinball game, and we kind of came out with different versions in different years. We started on the PlayStation 2. We've also done an Xbox version, a GameCube version, a PlayStation Portable version, and we're working right now on a version for the Nintendo Wii that is coming out just a couple weeks here in the United States.
Wow.
That's Mojo. It's an action puzzle game that we did for PlayStation 2 and Xbox. And this is another one of our ESPN NFL Primetime. We did that on PlayStation 2, Xbox, and PC.
Wow.
And if you want to...
Basketball.
Yeah, sure. These are some of the toys that we've done. This is called Plug and Play, these toys. And what that means is you don't buy them in the video game department. You'll buy them in the toy department at a retailer like Toys R Us or Walmart.
Oh, yeah.
And they plug straight into your television, so you don't need a console to play them on. And you need a reason to be plug and play because they're a little more expensive than typical video games. And for us, the reason is a custom input that we can do. So, for example, this basketball game, which was out last Christmas, has a CCD camera in the actual unit, and you control the player with his basketball and you move it around.
Wow.
This was EA Sports Madden Football, which was not the Madden Football video game, but it has a Madden Football license. And this is a touch mat that you stand on and a wireless football controller that you hold in your hand.
Oh, wow.
This is a baseball game that we did a couple years ago that has a tethered ball and a wireless bat that you can swing. This is probably one of the best plug-and-play games we've done. This was a really fun game called Real Swing Golf. It's got a camera that's embedded here in the tee, and this club that it ships with has a stripe of reflective tape that the camera can see. And so you swing the club over the tee, and we can detect not only what direction you're swinging and how fast you're swinging, but how the club is faced as it passes through the camera. And so you hit the ball, a virtual ball, into the television, and you can hook it and slice it, and you play 18-hole golf.
And these are available now in stores?
Well, I'll show you in just a minute the ones that are available this year. These may still be on shelves, but these have been 1 or 2 years ago.
I see.
Most of these. Yeah, we just got
look at
these
that.
in, so we haven't put them up on the wall yet. We'll have to get them framed. But
the skateboarder, huh?
Yep, this is a skateboarding game with a skateboard controller that you stand on, put it in front of the TV, and you stand on. You can skate and do different tricks, and there are half pipes, and that's a fun game. This is called Jibby. This is what's called a Tamagotchi-style toy. It's a virtual pet, and the only control on this toy is an on-off switch, and all the interaction that you do with it is by talking to it. So you can play different games with it. You can play dress-up. It does fortune teller. It gets hungry. You have to buy food for it with currency that you earn by doing different things. You have to clean up after
Well, that's good. It's an educational.
I think you could probably argue it's educational, but all you do all of this by talking to it.
Wow.
It's got voice recognition in it. This is Golden Tee Golf, which is another golf game that we did with a Golden Tee license, and it's got a trackball. If anyone's played Golden Tee in the arcades, then they know how that works. And then the other thing, this is something that we just finished this year. It's on shelves now. It's been on shelves for just a couple of weeks. It's Scarface, a video game based on the 80s movie Scarface for the PlayStation Portable.
Wow.
And we also did for this year as I mentioned earlier, a Hard Rock Casino game. So we've been busy this year. We shipped 3 different toys and 2 different video games, and that's a lot for us.
Wow. You license this out, your games out to the companies who manufacture them or who publish them?
Well, is
it like a book?
They're different business models. What happens most typically is a publisher will approach us. It's usually a publisher that we've worked with before that trusts us and knows that we do good work, and they'll say, "Hey, Farsight, we'd like a a Peanuts baseball game, which is one of the things that we're working on right now in the studio. I'll give your viewers a sneak peek at that, actually.
Yeah, okay.
So they'll come to us and they'll maybe have a document that's a page or two long that outlines the general concept of what they want, and we will take that and develop that into a proposal.
Sure.
And the design might be 10 pages at that point. That goes into a lot more detail about what we would like to do with their idea, and there'll be a budget attached to that. And if we agree, then we'll go ahead and do the game, and it's like a book deal where we get an advance.
Sure. And
then we get a royalty, and we recoup the advance with the royalty. And once we've recouped it, if the game sells enough copies, then we start getting royalty checks.
Wow.
Which is nice. And we have a royalty pool here that all the employees share in the royalties that we get on games.
That's great.
So that's kind of neat.
Well, I'm going to stop right now and take time out for some commercials, and then we'll come back with part 2 in just a moment. So stand by, everybody, and wait for these commercials.